Starfest on. I'm not trying to be intimidating. I just changed outfit. Hold on.
Oh no, I understand. It's fine.
I just wanted to have a chat about because someone was saying that you weren't very happy with what was going on, and this is me coming at a completely neutral perspective. And if you aren't happy with it, obviously we will change it. So I just wanted to know what you were unhappy about.
Oh, I'm not unhappy about anything. I'm just felt like doing some maybe Overwatch over quality from the community's point of view might be useful.
What do you mean? Sorry, by that?
I mean, having someone who's just part of the community as a civilian and not anything else to just look over how the state of everybody is doing.
That's what we're going to do soon. We're going to implement like a governor system. So we'll have like a civ who gets elected, and then they'll be like in charge of or suggestions of scripts that get added, possibly even the police chief. It's a big risk, but possibly the police chief, and we'll just add like a civ who gets to decide what things go, and they won't be a staff member or anything, I don't think.
Understandable. Yeah, I'm not trying to like portray my own or opinion or anything. I'm just
you're entitled to your own opinion, mate. I'm happy to hear it. It's good feedback.
I'm just really observing what's going on in general and recording it for documentary purposes.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, no worries. I just wanted to make sure you're all happy with everything that's going on, because I've seen you on here a lot, so I know that you're a...
and don't get me wrong, me and my buddy Monster, we're on here quite a lot. We enjoy the community. Yeah. We've applied for membership and everything, and...
Oh, right, I'll tell the administration to look at that then, because they don't really do that without provocation, so I will tell them.
Oh, I would like someone to look into my P4 placement in the event we had.
Your P4 placement?
In the race. I'm supposed to get donated for that.
Okay. Yeah, I will make sure that happens for you then.
No stress. I've messaged Vix or whoever it is.
It's useless for messaging Vexotic, mate.
I've heard.
Replies. I'll sort him out for it.
Yeah, it's fine. But you know,
let me note this down.
From a civilian perspective, when you're running around trying to create some like intricate scene and you do a 911 and then it goes 20 minutes, nobody responds, and you see that fucking event, an unofficial event is happening outside of AOP, it's kind of disheartening. So I felt like I was just curious to see the state of whatever was happening, so I went no clip to see what was happening.
Do you know who Chadoy is?
Who?
Chadoy, he's like a 5M YouTuber.
No, that's not a name I'm familiar with.
Okay, well basically, he had an idea for one of his videos where the police chief got his police officers to stage around the police station, and then he infiltrated it and tried to take them all down as like a test for them. So we thought it'd be a good idea if we did it, but obviously members started pissing about and ruining it for everyone, so it turned into a big shootout, and it was a bit embarrassing on our behalf because we wanted like a little serious RP scenario where the police chief and a few other people could infiltrate the PD while there was the police department in there to test their skills with stuff like that. But it just all went a bit tits up because a few people, including some staff members, were being very silly with it, and it was not very fun on our end, but then we sorted it out towards the end.
Is that something that happened before, or is that what happened just now?
That's what happened just now.
Okay, because from the only thing that I really saw was because I was watching mostly from the like SWAT team's perspective and then before I understood that there was actually a criminal group in the basement. Uno, I think it was, kept shooting a bunch of the other guys in the face.
He's annoyed a lot of us today.
Yeah, I'm sure you were there as well to see that.
Yeah, he's being talked to, don't worry, we'll sort it out. But I just want to make sure, considering you're a like reoccurring member, that you're happy with what goes on in the community, because believe it or not, your opinion as a member matters over a lot of opinions. So your perspective, considering you're quite new to the server, is one of the main perspectives we want to hear, you know. So if you have feedback, don't be afraid to share it. We're not going to get annoyed or have a go, we just want to hear what you got to say.
Understood, sir. I'm just interested in the keeping quality high. That's about it.
Yeah, it's just basically the way this server works, which it shouldn't really, but it always just has done, is we RP throughout the day English time, right? And then when it gets later on in English time, we all start messing about and just do fun things like that aren't really fun for people who want to RP. So we understand that, and I think that's something we can work on as a collective to stop that from happening while people who want to RP are on the server.
Of course.
So say, for example, everyone who's on goes, yeah, let's just have fun and mess around. We can go, all right. And then if there's, say, it only literally has to be one person who goes, nah, I prefer to just get some RP scenes going, because it is an RP server, right, at the end of the day, then we should probably just resume RP for them, and I will talk to the... I'm only a moderator, but I was here before at a higher position, and I left for a year. So
but being a moderator, you can understand how you have a bit more of a voice in the community than any other...
Exactly.
And someone who comes on the server casually as a civilian, you know.
Yeah, I want to project your opinions in the way that mine will get carried across, so I'll project your opinions as my own to make sure they get carried across. Not in the sense that I'll be taking the credit from you for the opinion, but I'll be telling people this is what the members think, and this is what we should do, and then we'll try and make best improvements where we can.
I'm not saying that this is a good idea, but would you think... Okay, I'm not meaning for this to turn into an interview of sorts, but I feel like that's the way it's going, so I apologize.
No, that's all right.
But
I'm happy to talk.
Would you feel like that... Because I've been a part of a lot of roleplay servers throughout the years, and this is a server that seems to be really good. Like, any police department of this server seems to be functioning better than most. Yeah,
we have a very high standard of police officers and a strict supervision program, so they're all under close watch at all times.
But I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect between the people who come on the server as just civilians to roleplay and the law enforcement.
100%.
Do you think some form of community department for civilians to bridge that gap would be a good idea or not?
Yeah, we do. We have like the membership. That's our bridge at the moment. We can obviously make that a bit more pronounced to civilians that that's what it is. But our membership is the bridge at the moment. That's what we tried to do. The membership's a very new thing. We introduced it for that purpose, to get people who aren't in departments in a sort of civilian department, so they're still recognised as a reoccurring player and someone who has a great opinion in the server because they hear a lot and they know how things run, and they can join the member department and just give their opinion through that, as opposed to being in the law enforcement or fire and rescue department per se.
Alright, well, so do you believe that having that, like a civilian department as a specific department, do you believe that that is the best way to bridge the gap?
I wouldn't say it's the best way, but it's the way we're trying at the moment, and if it doesn't work the way we intend for it to, we will try something else, and we'll keep trying until we do successfully bridge that gap. Do you have any suggestions for something we could do?
Not spontaneously. If I come up with one, I'm happy to share my thoughts.
Alright, yeah.
I would probably come up with something more of a committee, but that's probably too chaotic to actually implement.
I'm going to get one of the directors down here, and he'll... because obviously he knows a bit more about what's going on behind the scenes, so he can validate some of the things that I'm saying.
I mean, I didn't mean for this to turn into sit above that, but if...
Honestly, you've raised some good points, and I feel like it's something that should be discussed as well, so we're happy to do it.
I guess maybe I do have a lot of thoughts about how to improve a community. I've been part of many, and I've seen a lot of... I've seen how communities usually end, so I would like this one not to end.
Yeah, I'll bring him down there, see what he has to say. Mr. Blue, I'm terribly sorry for pulling you out of your...
I was teabagging you though.
I was talking to this gentleman here
about a bit more presentable. Give me 1 second.
His ideas on the... let me also...
Consider me quality control.
You look fine, you got Mona Lisa on.
I was talking to this gentleman here about his opinions on the quality of, I don't know how to reiterate it in the way that he did, because he did it very well.
Oh, I did?
Why didn't you let him tell me then?
Yeah, I'll let him tell you.
What do you... what specific part?
So just your idea on how you feel like the gap should be breached.
Well, what I'm thinking is, because usually the problem I've seen with every community that I've ever been a part of, because I've been part of 5M communities for maybe 10 years at this point, and maybe not that long, but it's coming up on that point. And all the communities I've ever been a part of end the same way by the civilian population, you know, the casual players who come into the server who just want to be civilian and do some RP scenes. They feel a disconnect to the law enforcement community in the servers. Like, if there's people like me and my buddy Monsterbull, who's frequently playing on the server together with me, who try to do intricate, interesting calls with the police. Whenever we do that, we don't get a response, and it's always our response. To us, it feels like all the responses happen to low effort 911s that are like bank robberies or hit and runs at 24/7 or random gunshots at the Grove Street and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And to regular civilians who come on casually, it feels like you can't talk to anybody about that to create an interesting scene just casually, naturally. Like, you can't cause or create a scene naturally. And if you try to do that by like driving a stolen car and doing some illegal maneuver past a cop, they won't bother pulling you over because they just think that you're gonna stop and then run immediately. If they see you, they just won't react.
Sorry to
and stuff like that.
That aspect of seeing someone doing that and be like, you know what, I can't be asked for this today, is because of, I think, previous experience that law enforcement, have with civilians just cop baiting and pulling away with vehicle pursuits.
I've been like in a different server. I've been a high-ranking officer of like California Highway Patrol on a different server, so I can relate to that too. Like, if someone in front of you does some obvious stupid shit to bait you into pulling them over, you're just not gonna fucking bother, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not even intentional that you do some dumb shit in front of a cop.
Yeah, I
know
what you mean.
Like, you can do a donut in a fucking intersection and not realize that there's a cop watching you. And when you realize that, you see them and you drive away expecting them to pull up behind you, but they won't. And then you think, oh, they're not gonna bother because they think you're gonna cop bait them.
Yeah, maybe we should consider reinforcing the fact, because I've been trying to reinforce it in our police briefings at the moment, that no matter whether you deem the scene good quality RP or not, you should still go through with it because it's not your choice to make. And saying how if you do have an overruling issue, there's a place to report it. But other than that, if something's going on, you should be responding to it. And I feel like that's affecting you, so it's probably something we should knuckle down on a bit more. Like I've said, I'm not in a greatly high position of power. I've just recently gained some influence in law enforcement, and obviously I'm part of the staff team, so I can make an influence where I can. But other than that, you'll have to leave it up to this man in the lovely red vest next to me. And
I have to say, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but I guess I have a lot of thoughts about this. One thing also, I know that you guys have done this more than anyone I've ever heard of, and like any other server, but because I was like kind of maybe eavesdropping on a briefing you had once.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
confidential, really.
Highway patrol tend to not patrol the highway.
What, you mean like traffic enforcement?
Yes.
Yeah, we have
highway patrol. I feel like highway patrol
to,
is just highway patrol. It's just like state police, but they're called highway patrol.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, they're the same thing.
Yes, but correct me if I'm wrong. Their jurisdiction is supposed to be routes, highways, and freeways. No?
I mean, they have jurisdiction like through the entire state because they're a state police agency, but their main focus is highways, state routes, and like main roads.
So why is it that anytime you drive on a highway, route, or freeway, you never see them?
You don't
Because we
have
don't have highway patrol.
But their jurisdiction is supposed to be those roads, and whenever...
We don't have that department. There is no highway patrol.
But you have state patrol.
We've got LSPD and BCSO. They both go in.
Yeah, we don't have state police.
enforcement, So
We
you
don't have a
change-
state police.
You change your department depending on the AOP. We've got a traffic enforcement division, which initially we're told to mainly stick to highways, interstates, main roads, stuff like that.
Okay.
But that's obviously changed slightly. And obviously, just to backtrack a little bit, obviously in relation to the long, more winded, better quality calls of, let's say, I don't know, a bit of a drug RP or a bit of a domestic or, you know, stuff like that. And then obviously a bank robbery comes through or stuff like that.
So-
It was being discussed with the chief today about sort of how we organise which calls we go to. Because we're in the same boat as you. We hate going to bank robberies and stuff, but ultimately, some people love going to them because it's just shoot, shoot, shoot. I personally hate them. I'd rather go to a domestic call or something like that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. And everybody sees it that as soon as priority cooldown goes off, there's another fucking hit on a 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. And we would love it. Even in that 10 minutes cooldown, you can call the police. It just doesn't have to, it just can't be a priority. So you can have a domestic or you can have like a fist fight. Police will attend that. It's just like bank robberies, store robberies, pursuits, stuff like that. But people don't understand that. They think as soon as it's cooldown, you can't do anything. You have to walk around. But we're talking about getting a sort of a model, so obviously we grade calls. Let's say we get 6 calls at once. The one with the most threat and harm, even if it's a shit job, we'll ultimately have to go to. If it's like a 24/7 robbery and we've got 12 cops on, we are planning on, well, we try and do it now anyway, we've got TAC channels. You have a certain amount of units going to that robbery, or let's say, obviously it depends because of SWAT deployments and stuff, and then the 3 units can obviously go to the other calls. We do try and go for the better calls, although it may not seem like it. However, usually there'll be a shit call, a good call, and a panic button, and we have to prioritise the panic button. So it's sort of like we're stuck between, 2 shit calls. We want to get to the good one, but ultimately we're having officers getting absolutely wiped out on the bad calls. But yeah.
You bring that up about other officers responding to like a panic button or something, right?
Yeah.
Which would obviously be considered a priority if an officer hits a panic button. Everybody understands that. However, I'm not sure your view on this, because I don't even know my view on this, but do you consider a priority of that kind, like if an officer hits a panic button, that everybody that is an officer who is on duty at the moment should respond to that panic button? Or
so how we have it is, if an officer presses the panic button, initially it will be every officer drop your shit and go to that. Obviously, if they're stuck on a scene, ultimately it's finish that scene as quick as you can and get off. Like 10-11's you can free to go and you'll run off, blah blah blah.
But
if they're stuck in the middle of another scene, then yes. But ultimately, as soon as an officer gets to that panic button, they will then deem it if we need any more officers. So if like an officer's been run over and the car's driven off, you'll only need 1 or 2 more officers and maybe a supervisor. The rest of the officers should be fine. But ultimately, 90% of the time, because we're a public server, it's an officer has been magnumed and there's 4 people there with assault rifles.
from my perspective, as someone who always plays as a civilian, that doesn't happen a lot, that there's a bunch of people with just ARs, but maybe I'm just not in that crowd. However, to me it seems more like some lone fucking ranger running around with an AR shooting at a cop, and that turns into a panic button, and then every cop on duty ends up on that scene, and you have, after that, nobody patrolling for anybody possibly breaking traffic laws.
Yes.
Do you consider that a possible issue, or
Definitely,
like
it's just a sticky situation because obviously you know the term. I'm guessing you've been in law enforcement before, like you said. You know the term Signal 100.
yes,
You know what that means. You know that means all units respond. And then obviously, like Mr. Scott was saying here, if we do have a great call. We want to go to it. We'll be on the way. And then next thing we know, poor old corporal down the road has just been shot in the face for giving someone a parking ticket. And then we all have to go and see if he's okay. Then next thing you know, units have been told that they don't have to go when they've already taken off because someone hasn't called it out. And then the whole thing just kind of collapses from there. So it could be a problem on our end, but at the same time, it's the level of civilian roleplay we're granted with is out of our control. It's more in the hands of the civilians doing so. And maybe you're not in that crowd, but you wouldn't believe how much it happens. We get about 3 to 4 panic buttons every hour.
On a good day.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
on a good day.
it is down to the Civ RP, because you'll ask any cop, you can ask any of us here, we absolutely hate the big calls unless they're done properly.
Yeah, like we had one today that was shambles.
Yeah, it was so shit. Like, it was so bad. But like, I mean, I've had a good few calls with you and the Monsterbull and stuff, even as a Civ as well. And we would highly prioritise them. Unfortunately, it's usually first come, first serve, and that first one, like the PO2 who gets on every now and again will go to it, panic button, and then it's all out warfare. But I did speak to the chief earlier, and we are sorting out a priority list for when calls come through. And you can also reserve priorities if you message a staff member.
So, out of just pure curiosity for my sake, within like the first 1 minute or 2 minutes after priority cooldown goes off and it says priority inactive, how many calls do you usually get into /911 within those first minutes or two?
It usually depends, to be honest. It depends on the day, depends on how many players are on and stuff like that. I'd say high end, you're looking at 5 or 6 calls within the first sort of few minutes. Low end, you're looking at 1 or 2.
Say that 15 people are online, I don't know, 9 of those are police officers.
So yeah, obviously it's one of those that it differs, but obviously with that sort of player count civ-wise against cops, you're looking at like maybe 1, maybe 2.
Do you get different velocity of 911s depending on the area of patrol?
No, we get shootings no matter where we are.
It can be Vietnam anywhere we are on the map, but a lot of the time as well, we'll pull over, like Velocity mentioned earlier, we'll pull over someone for a parking ticket because they've accidentally gone through a stop sign, and they will go on a cop murdering spree.
It's very silly. Like, we had a bloke the other day who received the citation for his underglow and window tint, who then decided to point a gun at the traffic stop officer for giving him this citation. Now, obviously, as you can understand, in real life, if you've just been given a fine, you're more concerned about how you're going to pay it, not than how you're going to take the officer's life.
Yeah, I can see how that is. I've experienced the same thing when I've, on other servers, when I've been a police officer. That is not a, interesting situation at all.
Yeah, all in all, we do what we can to better everyone's experience as police, but at the end of the day, we can't make everyone happy, because, say, for example, you have your big call going on, we've got an officer getting domed at the other side of the map, someone's going to be going, wow, 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 why aren't the police at my call, I've just killed an officer, why does nobody care? Then the other end, we've got people like you who are making really good scenes, and we want to go to them, but at the same time, we've got people moaning and going upset, and saying that the staff team are admin abusing by disregarding scenes and stuff, and everything left, right, and centre. We have a lot to deal with all the time. We get pressured with loads of stuff.
So, from your perspective,
what's the priority?
I see it. I obviously see your perspective of things, and I also see the civilian perspective of things because I've been both.
Don't take my perspective as something that shouldn't happen, because it's what I signed up for.
Obviously,
staff member. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it's something I don't expect. I'm just saying it's something that gets in the way a bit.
But what do you think would be the best way to solve that problem then?
All in all, it comes down to the civs, because the cops are trained to do what they do. We have a very good team of police. I'll confidently say that. Anyone who isn't up to our standards, obviously, is told that they're not and will improve or.
May I offer a counterpoint? To what you just said, because
about the police being good.
I don't know how often you guys roleplay as civilians, but
that's a good point. Half of the police department's roleplay as civilians is fucking shit.
Yeah, and any civilian, you can ask probably anyone, and they will have the opinion that, well, the problem is on the police department's side. Like, they don't care enough about the casual role plays, like a jaywalking. They just don't care.
It's because they're never highlighted to us, that's the thing. We always have too much fucking Vietnam shit going on to deal with someone who's not crossing the road properly. You know what I mean?
But so there's there's two sides of the coin, obviously.
Do you know why the main reason that we can't have foot patrols is, as cool as foot patrols would be, like just walking around the AOP doing tickets?
I'm guessing the problem would be that you'd get instantly domed.
You're not in a vehicle, which means you're open to be rinsed with bullets from some military operator who's decided to perch on a roof next to you.
Of course.
So it'd be lovely to have foot patrols and just walk around.
Police now?
Well, well.
Memory, you don't have to start again.
Okay. Well, this is interesting, sir.
Hello.
Oh, it's Vex. It's Vex. Do you play as a civ a lot, Vex?
He plays every now and again. He's a good civ. Not as good as me, but he's a good civ.
A lot burglary.
Also, Mr. Vexotic, you need to sort out this man's donators.
Yes. I have messaged you on Discord on it about it.
Wait.
He got position 4 on the race. You owe him a donate a month.
You just been straight up ignoring me, man.
He does that. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, I've heard.
I've literally been friends with him for like 3 years and he still just ignores me. Or replies with a thumbs up.
Hey, I do the same thing, so I can't judge.
Dad.
Ow.
He does, yeah, to be fair though, that's the perfect way to describe it.
That is Aaron. He is a first sergeant now. Huzzah.
I take fleece.
Look at that. I don't
Okay.
give up on nothing.
Vex, let me ask you, what do you think about the state between civilians and the police departments of the server? Like, do you think there is a gap that can be bridged between them, communication-wise?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. My opinion, the gap is member, right? The membership thing, because it allows...
Are you aware of the requirements for that application?
Yeah, I made it.
So you made the requirements of the 100 words and the 200 words for specific parts?
Oh, fuck that. No, I don't. I just copied and pasted that from the other side. That's it.
So,
words.
Because I know for 2 of the questions you need to write 100 words, and for 1 of the questions you need to write 200 words.
Yeah.
Because I filled out that application.
Oh, you did? Hold on.
And so did my friend Monsterbull. We did it about 2 weeks ago or something. You don't need to look into it right now. I'm not here to give you a bunch of work. I'm just here to ask questions.
That's fair. No, I actually said this earlier on today. Basically, we were thinking about how to respond to about when you have 5 priority 911 calls in like the same minute. Which one do you choose to respond to, right? And if you hear me out on this, right? So first come, first serve is technically fair, right? But the first one could be shit, and that the second and third could be really good.
And what about if after priority cooldown has been deactivated for 3 times in a row, and every time that first call is a shit call?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So what if we just...
that seems to be a trend on any server you get onto.
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying. We should go whitelist.
Probably should, but we won't get anyone applying.
I know.
Well, whitelist tends to kill a community, but that's just my opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's such a
and I'm about to get kicked for inactivity. What the fuck?
/reset AFK.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yes, thank you, Vex. I know how to spell.
I don't.
That's a sick term for a command. I know of the spell. I like that. I'm going to use that.
He said he knows how to spell, not he knows of the spell.
Well, I'm still going to say that now anyway.
Oh, are you Jack the
Fucking
What?
Hogwarts.
No, you're not Jack the What.
Jack the what?
So I've heard most of your guys' thoughts. I haven't heard her thoughts yet,
That's
though.
they, them.
Yeah.
I'm a him.
yeah.
They, them.
Don't worry. I'm a fool guy, my guy.
Robots, yeah.
You could have fooled me.
This guy has like
I'm a
the
full-on
fucking
dude.
this guy's the most fucking rumbling earthquake building knocking over voice in the server, and he's got a woman pad.
You should use that pad
This
to
is, Kevin
do some
Josh
prostitute
Holiday.
RP and scare the shit out of some people.
Also known as they them.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I'm a
Kevin
yeah.
Schmelly.
I can
apparently I'm a
technically now
David,
RP as
yeah.
Poppy, but with a limited
I haven't heard your
vocabulary.
thoughts yet,
I
though.
get your
know.
point where you're coming from. Personally, I hate the people that constantly do bank robbery, shootings, and all that shit. I prefer just doing like
As you
passive
answer.
calls that require a little bit of investigation here and there, or just a simple traffic stop, opposed to a full-on bank robbery. Like a bank robbery is fun every once in a while, but it just gets boring if you have like 6 a day. Honestly, I try to respond to the more to the passive calls than the calls that may or may not involve shooting. As I don't know, I think it's a lot more fun to deal with passive calls.
PureToxic, do you fetch perms?
Do I what?
Do that command up in chat.
Is anyone actually role
That's a perma, or that's a command I've never heard of before.
I think there's a few.
There's nothing.
Right, you should
Sure.
have all the
Welcome
member
to
stuff
the
now, 'cause
member.
I'll just accept your application because it's pretty good.
How long does that last, by the way?
Forever, the membership.
Well, I was thinking more the donator thing that I got for getting
Oh.
P4.
Questions 4. What is it?
Just
I
give him
was-
the roll, Sam, and then count for a month.
Of donators, so yeah.
It's a
Is it
month
just a
of.
month of donated cars, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just told it's
You got 5
donator.
points,
Yeah, I got P4.
Yeah, donator then. And then P3 was. No, wait.
I would have gotten P1 if I didn't get wrecked in that first corner at the last race.
Trust me, some
Oh,
shit
mate,
driving
we-
from people, I can't lie.
We've talked about it, but we're not allowed to change our decisions anymore, so.
It was a really fun event, though. Would love another race event.
Do you fetch perms again? You should have access to the donated cars, and yeah.
We are currently being
Fancy shit.
spectated, by the way,
Who
Really?
now?
by Noxtard and Green.
Okay,
That's interesting.
that's cool.
Right,
I agree
so-
with
Thank you,
that.
Vex.
Yeah, I would say, if you want police to respond to his calls the most, I would advise, if you put a detailed call that isn't like a manuscript, but like it's not like 2 or 3 lines, then people are gonna go, oh, what's that? I think it's probably gonna be quite good, and they'll go. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Also, though, there's no real system of like which ones you respond. Obviously, that if you're close, you go to that one, right? And obviously, if one of them is like someone's like tripped over, well, the ambulance will go to that, and one of them's a bank robbery, will go to the bank robbery. However, half the time, the high priority scenes or situations that require the attention, or would do in the real world, are shit, terrible.
Yes, I know that.
Can I quickly interrupt for a moment?
Go ahead.
Mr. PureToxic, can you grab a pistol for me, please? For 1 moment.
Don't have one equipped at the moment. Why?
Yeah, a quick one.
I
need
guess
to test
so.
something real quick.
Quite a nice outfit there, Mr. Foster.
Thank you, it's my plain clothes.
Okay, I have a
Sure.
pistol.
I don't feel as though that was necessary.
Can you try shooting? Just anywhere.
Doesn't work.
Alright, cool.
Okay, another question I have, and this one goes to all of you. I would like your general thoughts on this. What would you guys think about having something in the realm of like a civilian population committee that where anyone who plays as a civilian most of the time can talk to like someone, like a group of people who is like part of a civilian committee where they bring up issues that is related to the people that play as civilians and bring them up to staff or police department or whoever their issues could be relating to. Would you guys consider that too much of a stress on the community, or what are you?
I wouldn't exactly say it would be a stress. It's just whether it's. I mean, the staff team's always there for issues, but I get what you mean about internal issues with civilian side.
My idea is like good for the existing community, the people who get on day after day, but we get people that are new every day or most days that are going to be uncontrollable. Most
Yes,
times.
but there's still gonna be like people like me and my friend Monster who come on who are like casual players.
Yeah.
And who are not like super deep into the community, but we still like prefer the server. But since we play as civilian, we feel like we don't have anybody to bring issues to. Like, we can't really go to staff because staff is meant for if someone is breaking rules. That's how we view it. That's like, if you're a civilian, that's how we view it. You go to staff if you're encountering someone that's breaking rules.
Recommendation for use ticket system a bit more in that regard, because tickets will get dealt with straight away as in like reports.
Yeah, to be fair though, we do flight tickets.
We do look at tickets quite a lot, so tickets might be sorted out that way.
Someone's always looking out.
So it's not actually worth doing a ticket.
So you wouldn't consider having something like a committee for civilians a realistic solution?
I don't think it's
this. I mean, like, so
membership would probably open to that.
What I understand is a committee. So is that just like someone who has a role, like, or is it like a Discord category, a channel, or could it just be someone that you put in support and then someone helps you with, or
I guess
put in membership?
I guess my thought on it would be someone who's like a civilian a lot, someone who would be I guess
like someone that can deal with issues when it comes to
someone who's a civilian often who could bring a voice to the other civilians.
So not someone in
a representative, pretty much.
Yeah, so not someone in a position of power per se, but just a representative of the civilian community as a whole that could be maybe decided by the civilian community.
Yeah.
So
would you be a mayor?
What would you think about? To be fair, what would you think about? I mean, I'm coming across here as just bringing up ideas. I'm not suggesting anything's going to happen, but what would you think about this civilian community aligning perfectly with member? So there'd just be someone who would be assigned a role in the membership essence, who you could bring up any member issues with. So this member wouldn't. To be fair, member coincides with law enforcement and fire departments, and maybe there'd have to be an external side of it where it could just be civs only.
Yes, but I think that because being like having the role of member brings a certain it gives you a certain rank within the server, which also sets you apart from the general civilian population who is like just casual playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a member now, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
got to accept his mate as well, surely.
I can't find his application. He said the Monster Hunter. I can't see.
No,
the bull, mate.
Yes, the Monsterbull.
The Monsterbull. Yeah, I still couldn't see that either.
He's Bulgarian. I don't know if that helps.
No, I couldn't see any Monsterbull like IGN or Discord tag at the top there. Oh my god.
I guess, whenever he wakes up tomorrow, I can send him a message to DM you if that helps.
Yeah, that works.
If you'll fucking see it.
I'll see it. I might just look at it and go, oh. But no,
Oh, can I ask, just out of general curiosity, what is the, like, average age on this server?
Too low.
He's 20.
Too low.
It's
Okay.
usually the
We have like two age
to be honest,
ranges.
you got a few that are like 13 to 15, and the others are like 16, 17 to like 20, 21, 22.
So would you say it's
believe
17
Andreas is
plus?
That's the
Yeah.
majority, yeah. There's a few that are
Ideally,
under, but majority,
17
yeah.
plus.
Obviously,
17, 16, whatever.
our departments don't accept anyone under the age of 15, so...
I believe I'm the
Yeah.
youngest here.
I turned 18.
You sound the
Not
oldest.
sure.
9
Pardon?
days.
You sound the oldest, but
I'm 16.
god
Yeah,
damn.
It's
Yeah.
always the young ones who've got a deep voice, and I'm ill, so...
I'm 24 and I
So who do
thought
you're
you were
24?
older.
Fuck off.
I am.
Jenny thought you were like
That's
15.
crazy.
Jenny thought you were like 15.
Well,
Element is-
if we're gonna be specific, I'm 24 on Friday.
Birthday, well, happy birthday Friday.
Wait,
I'm 21 in
how-
3
happy
months
birthday,
and
man.
26 days.
How old's Eric?
I'm 21 in
Eric's
7
like
years.
25.
7 years. Wait,
I thought Eric was like 20.
my God,
I'm
it
joking.
is.
I'm
so you're not
joking.
far off though.
Not far.
I'm
I turned 18 in 9 days.
6 months and 1 day. 3 months and 1 day.
Anyway, we're straying a bit off topic here.
We are.
Bro, I've just
No,
been discriminated by
Bada
the
bada
emote
cute.
menu.
Bada bada
I've just been
cute.
fully discriminated by the emote menu.
What?
At
Good.
a slushy barbecue and it just says help. This emote is male only, sorry.
Unlucky. Only the males can cook the meat at the barbecue.
That's an L for me.
But
Why
you know
them
it's
really
you know it's
enforcing
only
gender
you know,
roles?
you know it's only the dads who stand around the barbecue.
Yes, sir.
You don't ever see the ladies going, "Oh, that patty looks like it's doing
Wait, hold on.
well." You know what I mean? I'm the barbecue dad.
Kevin, come here. Come back out. Kevin, don't kill us. Don't
So,
Oh shit, wait, help.
I guess my last question, or yeah, I guess my last question to you guys would be, since you are what I would consider semi-representatives of the police community of the server, are there any common issues that you guys encounter, and do you have any thoughts on how to solve those issues that are not brought up enough?
What category
Yeah.
do you describe as issues?
Wow.
Well, we
at
often
that.
get one mistake. So basically, it's a one mistake that ends up trickling down. So if someone does something that's not,
Can you give an
part
example of that?
SOP, for example.
Oh, use my iOS for example.
Yeah, we have the officer involved shooting reports that the supervisor is meant to ask set questions, right? And then somewhere on the lines, the supervisor added a question that really had no relevance and wasn't in the procedure. So they asked, "Oh, what caliber rifle or what caliber weapon did you use in the shooting?" And that's not on the thing.
No, it was
it's
more.
not
It
really
was
relevant.
why do you think the caliber of the weapon was necessary?
Yeah, why didn't the caliber of the weapons necessary? It's sort of
Why
not
does the
really a
caliber of the
question,
weapon
is it?
really matter?
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you
precisely.
shoot someone with a rifle, you shoot someone with a pistol, you're still shooting. them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just is lethal force is lethal force. So it shouldn't matter. And that question was never even part of the thing. It's just trickled down. And then the way we address that usually is we have these briefings. And part of the briefings is to give general guidance. And often that will be addressing any recurring issues we see. So we also had some driving issues. I'm a terrible driver. I'll be 100%.
Yeah.
So we just make sure people keep an eye on their driving. And if we have like a scene in that one particular area we think was negligent or not particularly looked over, so I had a couple weeks of me sort of drilling in scene containment. So I wanted it to be pretty crystal clear in everyone's mind that they pull up on scene and they have to address any threats and also contain them. So traffic blocks, I'm talking, provide a medical aid to anyone in desperate need, and obviously addressing any immediate threats. That needed to be like crystal clear. It's mainly the traffic blocks, because we'd have piles and piles of police cars on the scene, but none of the roads in the area would be blocked. Like the intersection, it would be covered in cars with locals coming flying across, and it's just untidy. But you just address it by like constant reminders, and obviously we have a supervisor chat in the Discord, and I tell them to make sure that they're looking out for this and reminding people on how to do this and that properly. But as a recurring issue, like overall,
Do you mind if I run to the bathroom real quick?
I don't mind.
You can keep
Yeah,
answering the
you've gotta
question,
say.
because I'm recording, so I will listen to it back later.
Oh, fair enough.
But
We're gonna get banned.
Oh no, don't worry about that.
Better quit.
I'll be back in like
You
5
will
seconds.
be recorded for internal and administrative purposes.
For me, Sam can't be.
most
You
part.
guys should.
Hey,
panic.
Charlie, play the clip, yeah?
I'm literally the lowest staff rank here. I'm at risk of losing my job.
Alright then. Blue, play the clip.
I literally could lose my fucking job as a staff member.
Good.
Like, literally. What do you mean good, bro? I'm literally the best staff member ever. My friend Emily even thinks I am.
What? I never say such thing.
Literally, that's RDM. Me being
Sorry,
a
the
good
they
staff
them
member
scared
personally,
me.
I'm gonna kick you for that.
Go on. I'm going to bed now if you kick me.
Okay.
Go on, kick me. I give you permission to kick me out.
Wait, can you try to kick me?
Didn't take long. It will work. It will work. It will work.
No, just try it. Just try it.
You
User in
fucking
your
prick.
channel
You
was
gave
banned
yourself
from
some
the
fucking easy admin
I have
permissions, you
immunity.
Stupid
I've
gimmicky little
obtained
power hungry
unlimited
little
power.
dictator, little Russian fucking Hitler.
Okay, listen, it wasn't me, okay? It wasn't me that set the fucking permissions, it was Olbert.
Yeah, shut up with your buddy
Oh,
booger
shit,
vest, mate.
permission.
What's wrong with the missions?
Nothing.
Kevin cannot be kicked.
No, it's because the developer role inherits every
Kevin's
firm
gonna
from head
make the
admin, and then,
PMMS server wide and play the
director
M word.
inherits from developer.
Developers, conform.
Okay, I'm back. I have a question for all of you, since you're all kind of in the law enforcement part of the server.
Mhm.
Is there some
Say that.
form of like internal investigation part of the law enforcement that, in
What
case
is-
there is like, I don't know, some major form of
Yeah,
corruption
that would
or
be
something,
really
or a large
Oh, we
group
might
that is
HR.
breaking a bunch of rules, like some form of third-party unit that isn't completely connected to the department, that is supposed to run investigation into the department in case there is like rule breaking and stuff going on.
Can I
Yeah.
give an
There is
opinion?
no IA, no.
Can I give an
No,
opinion?
we don't have the capacity
Go ahead.
for that.
In my opinion, I believe the supervisors we have a capacity for is enough for managing officers at the moment, because we don't have that many police officers, so we wouldn't need a separate thing for it, because
fair amount.
supervisors can... Yeah, we have a fair amount, but we have enough supervisors to manage as well.
Are you guys ever worried
Oh.
about maybe that the supervisors might be breaking rules, and what
Think
if
come
they
up
do?
with
Oh, I shut down rule breaking by supervisors real fucking quick. If I see supervisor breaking rules, then I tell them to either
I
stop
hate
or
this,
fuck
like,
off.
new... Like,
So there is a
start-
system to deal with that if and when that happens.
Yes,
Basically,
if
we
supervisors
have-
break rules, then command deal with it. If command breaks rules, then someone, like the rest of command, will deal with it.
We have
There's always someone who
38
can deal with it.
officers. 11 of them supervisory. There's a officer report form that civilians or other officers can do that are viewable by supervisors. And there's also a supervisory report form that is viewable by command members only.
Do you get a lot of reports against
Really?
against like admins and stuff, or staff members?
Staff report, that'll be down to the directors and head admin and staff manager. But I can't remember the last time we've actually had like an official one. It's mainly just, oh, this staff member didn't do something particularly well or properly, and it's like you have a word with them.
Do you guys have some form of review process if that happens?
Well, when they're accepted into staff, they have a general staff period of 2 to 4 weeks, and then they're reviewed at the end of that, and it's determined on whether it's continued as an extended period of review, or if they're accepted into full staff, or they're
It's
or they
basically our version
fail.
of a trial mod.
Yeah. But
It sounds like a lengthy process.
It's not that lengthy, because basically once you get general staff, your staff, it's just you forget about it, and then 4 weeks later you get a promotion. Like, it's
Well,
not really.
I might be, forgive me if I'm misunderstanding, but it sounds like a lot of work to go through, maybe reports if there are a lot, or concerns about departments or specific members or whatever. Is there any form of compensation towards maybe staff members if anything happens? Like, is there any compensation for their time they put into the server?
I want to start getting paid. Scott, give me money.
Motherfucker, I want to get paid. I'm losing money.
It's kind of like a volunteer basis. I mean, compensation. I don't really. I mean, you apply for
if
stuff
half of the
because
people
you want to
in
help
staff were
out. Like,
half of the people in staff would not be paid for the job they do.
what do you mean?
Like, I'm saying that we don't have to staff as much as people think.
Yeah, I mean, we get reports in. You get the player reports in game. Obviously, you do a command, go to report, and it'll teleport you there, and it will tell all the other staff. There's an admin chat that people just talk about. Like, so there's a particular rule-breaking individual that will tell each other to keep an eye on that. It's pretty well communicated, to be fair. Like, all that said, though, some of them are massive muppets. They stuff. I mean, no, they're all alright, really. But no, there's no real form of compensation, because the way we see it is the staff team is imagine a volunteering thing. It's like you want to help out, you're a trusted individual, so you apply just to help out. I mean,
so it's all out of the goodness of your heart and passion.
It's a goodness of your heart thing, because we don't run this server like a business. A lot of servers run as a business.
Yes,
we run
they do.
Bin even negative margins. Scott's bank account knows about the negative margins. So our server is 100% not at all profit oriented.
Well, you make it sound like I'm fucking scraping for pennies at the end of the week.
No,
I don't see enough commercials to see the server as something running for fucking profit, so...
Huh?
Like, there aren't enough commercials in the chat to think that the server runs for profit.
Oh, yeah, no. Initially, if you scroll up far enough in the announcements, we weren't even going to take donations. We were just going to see how long it could last, but people were asking for it. Like, they were asking to make donations, so that was introduced. It's helped us massively, of course. It's allowed us to get the assets we have, the monthly subscriptions we have. Personally, I really hate monthly subscriptions, all forms of them, especially 5M ones, but
yeah, I wish everything was just a
doing.
one-time purchase, you get
Like,
it
the
over with.
interiors and shit, like, one of the packs
The reason they're
is
running
15 quid.
on subscriptions is because the single buyout price is fucking silly.
Yeah, like 500 quid
Like,
for one
say
interior.
for Gabs, it's €18 a month. But if
Okay,
you
so-
buy one of his, is about $60.
So, one by one, I would like to hear what, like, your role on the server is. Starting with Blue Vest.
Sorry, what do you say?
What, starting from you and going in the circle, what is, like, your main role on the server?
My main role on this.
And, like, what you prefer to do?
What I prefer to do, or what I'm supposed to do?
Like, what's your main role and what do you prefer to do?
Well, simply said, senior moderator. So main role is mostly staffing people. Recently got developer role as well, so I'm doing some developer, quote unquote, developing things here and there, which I guess is kind of fun to do. That's pretty much it.
Mr. Suit?
Law enforcement captain. He's also a law enforcement captain.
Yeah, I'm
he does
law
intentionally
enforcement.
live out.
I a returning staff member and moderator, so I don't orientate myself around being staff. I'm there if something goes wrong, and then I sort it out. I'm a newly formed sergeant of about 4 days in law enforcement, so I have a supervisory role there. I'm head of the field training process in the law enforcement, so I'm responsible for who gets in, who gets trained, and how they get trained, and basically just the stuff you learn before you come into police. That falls under my jurisdiction. I'm the manager. I'm one of the managers of server media, which at the moment we've been skint on because we can't find a way to get Rockstar Editor to work with our assets, but we are working on it. And we'll get some good media out there soon, but that's my positions.
Alright, Mr. Green Vest.
I am one of the two big cheeses. I am one of the directors. I, along with Green, who's the other director and the founder slash owner slash he made the server, have the ultimate decision in everything. I do development work. I decide basically what comes in and what doesn't in the server. And basically it all comes down to me and Green, and I run the staff team. I'm the staff manager. I'm a law enforcement captain, and I run SWAT. So yeah, I have, yeah.
So if there's somebody having a real problem and they can't go to anybody, they go to you.
We usually tend to follow the chain of command, but yes, ultimately I'm at the top of the chain, so it'll eventually come to me if people can't help.
And there's like, what, admin above you?
No, nothing above me.
There's nothing above him.
I'm
He
the
is
top.
the top.
So you're the top
He's the
dog.
CEO.
Yeah.
One of.
I
yeah.
am one of the two owners.
So if a staff member is fucking up, you're the one shitting on them.
Yeah, so I'm the staff manager, officially, so I deal with staff reports. However, our head admin also runs staff because he's the head admin. But it usually comes to me, the other director, and the head admin.
Alright. And last guy to my right.
Yeah, so I'm the third, but like down a level. So obviously the green vest and Green, the other person, they're the two directors. I'm the head admin he spoke about. That like just sort of helps look over staff. But much more importantly, I'm the chief of police. So that's my baby. My sweet, sweet department. It's lovely. And you know, I got given file access to help, but I'm actually incompetent in that.
So right.
And actually, I make some pretty banging suggestions as to what we do in terms of finance. I made the finance document. I also cut costs with the free CAD. I didn't make it, I just like researched on it. And
So you're the accountant.
yeah, I'm glorified accountant because I made an
You made the finance
automated
sheet.
spreadsheet. It's a
He
fire
doesn't-
spreadsheet.
He doesn't deal with our finances.
Yeah, I don't have any access to the bank accounts or even donate myself. I've got nothing to do. My wallet is completely separate.
So if you're on the server, like all of you, if you're on the server and you don't have to focus on staff issues or like management issues, what is your preferred thing to do?
Police. I think for all of us.
Police. Yeah, police.
Oh, I forgot to
Police.
say, I'm also
Or sitting
a
AFK
chief
in a corner
fire
doing development
department.
work.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I'm also
Oh
an
yeah, I'm also in the fire department.
engineer in the fire department.
I'm not in the fire department.
Yeah, our
the
fire
police
department
is
is
better.
nobody
Fire
likes
Very
fighting
department
fires.
6 feet under at the moment.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I do like doing civ stuff, and we do plan out some bits every
Oh,
now
yeah,
and
we
again, but law
all do,
enforcement just
yeah.
takes most of the time.
I think, was it us four or us and some other fellas that just by chance we had a little burglary crew like
Oh, yeah,
as
it was,
civs.
yeah.
So we still do that from time to time.
That
And
was
it's-
me and you that started that with the house invasion, wasn't it?
Yeah, the way we do it is just home invasions. We try and keep it as low key as possible because we know.
One person
the
has a
most-
gun.
Yeah, we do it
So,
pretty often.
One
Everyone's
question
ready.
I have for you guys, since you guys are more involved in the police side of things on the server, do you guys feel like there are specific issues that you guys run across because of how the civilians work on a or non-whitelisted server? Hold on, I got a fucking non-AFK myself.
Imagine as having immunity law.
I don't have immunity.
There we go. Do you guys feel like there's specific issues that you guys run across as mostly playing as law enforcement on the server that civilians aren't aware of, and what are those issues?
What by
I-
not aware of? Do you mean they don't know they're doing, or they don't know it's happening?
Like, are there things that you notice people who casually play as civilians, that things they are doing that
Yes.
you notice specifically and that nobody, like, generally brings up or talks about that you would like being brought up. How the fuck do you do that emote with the chair?
Yes, /e
Thank
space
you.
launcher. Honestly, I personally think that the main problem with
By the way,
player base and shit. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
I would like to ask you where in Sweden are you from?
I am not from
Oh,
Sweden.
that
I'm
is
from the
insulting
Netherlands.
to him.
Oh,
So you've just hurt his feelings. I can
That's not an
tell.
insult. Sweden is a lovely country. I'd love to go there sometime.
No, it isn't.
you
No,
have a
you
very
don't
Swedish
look at
accent.
Like you like Swedes.
We have a lovely Swedish individual called Steve. He's
There's a
lovely.
lot
You
of.
eat some
used to have an
shit
even-
bulle.
I've noticed there's a lot of Swedish people on this server, so
Got
Yeah, a
Matthew
lot of
Sadly, there is.
Scandinavians.
Oh,
as well.
sadly, like, is 80% of them are complete fucking donkeys.
Our like big top dog developer. He's
He's not
Norwegian.
Swedish. Yeah, I was gonna say he's Norwegian.
Yeah,
He's not
I'm not an
Swedish.
idiot. I know he's Norwegian.
got a
Don't
few
tell me he's
Norwegians,
Danish.
A few Swedish,
Nah.
and Estonian, and a few Dutch and Belgianese.
I was just saying that
Welsh,
because
so-
you had a very distinct accent that sounded very Swedish to me, and I'm Swedish, so I picked that out in like a second. But sorry for getting it wrong.
That's fine.
All
I don't
the
mind.
Swedish people are racist.
I'm Chinese.
Right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I highly doubt that.
Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah.
Okay, back to my original question though.
Yeah,
Thing
yeah,
with the
yeah.
fucking zip layer. I think the
Are there
problem with the zip,
like I was saying, are there specific like issues that you guys who play as law enforcement most of the time that you guys run into that isn't brought up?
Yes.
And what are those?
It would be influxes of 911 calls, and I have a couple reasons as to why they happen.
Are there
We
specific 911 calls that you get a lot that are like
Bank robbery.
bank robberies.
bothering? Besides,
Man,
everybody
for
knows
example,
that like low effort 911 for
Somebody have
fucking
these
bank
on, like-
robberies.
Empty calls
Um,
like help, or he's got a knife, or he's got a gun. It's like there's no context. There's nothing.
There's
It's
a
just a
dead
help,
man
or it's just
here.
an empty call. Yeah, exactly. There's no context. There's no nothing.
Also,
Let's
I
be real.
think
I'm sorry, just 1 second. Who dials 911, says there's a dead man here, then ends the phone?
Yeah, I mean, also,
Not much you can do with that.
I think something we respond to quite a lot, which is just a bit jarring.
Well,
We have a
for
policy to follow.
like the civilians who might listen to our conversation, how does the 911 system work here? Like, you guys don't get. Do you have a dispatcher that tells you anything, or what kind of information do you get from a 911 call? Do you get only the things that are written in the chat?
It's pretty much like you know how you have like /ad or /shout, for example,
Yes.
or /tweet. It's pretty much like exactly that. It's just like /911 space and then whatever text, and then only like, law enforcement get the notification. It's just what
Yeah,
people
I'll
write
show you the
down.
postal. and stuff.
So it doesn't automatically add like where the exact
no, it
location where the
adds,
person
it
sending
adds,
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it adds a blip on the map, like
Okay.
temporarily, and like the location and the ID of the person that called. But then, like, so that's just what they typed down.
It does go into our CAD system as well. We do have a dispatch department, however, very small because it's just started. But we have moved to in-game radios, and that makes it hard for dispatch.
I have to say, I enjoy the in-game radio because you guys are using the I don't remember what it's called, but it's a good like in-game radio system that I enjoy fucking around with.
TV
It is
radio,
really nice.
I think it's called.
PMA radio, yeah, that's what we use.
Yeah, because I know a way that you can use Morse code through it, so it's fun.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
Anyways, that's beside the point.
I'm on one cool information. We get whatever's written down plus poster on a brief location, like an area, and it'll obviously give you a ping on the map, and it'll make a really loud ping.
So if you do a 911, it does give a ping on the map where the 911 call was made.
Yes.
And for about how long does that stay on the map?
About 2.5 minutes, 5 minutes maybe.
How long is this? About a minute, isn't it?
Oh,
was gonna say,
think
it's
they
not
stick
really
around
long.
2 minutes.
So,
I mean,
I'm checking the code right now.
for example, if someone were to make a 911 call at any place in, like, Los Santos... Oh, no, that's not... Let me rephrase this. What would be, like, to you personally, specifically, and I would like you guys to answer this individually, if you can, what would be your, like, personal favorite... Well, I guess favorite might not be the right, but kind of favorite or preferred kind of 911 call that you would respond to?
I'm gonna start with Blue Vest again and move around.
If you would like to do it that way, you can.
Kevin, you go first then.
If you have...
Just give me for now, I'm checking code.
Okay, I'll start with Sam then.
alright, I quite like, so these are multi-stage. I like a long initial 911 call that I can respond to, talk to a couple of people, maybe gather whatever information there is there. So, for example, let's call it a burglary, right? We get eyewitness accounts, go to the actual house, look for any evidence in the room, the scene script, which is pretty cool.
I'm talking about the 911 call specifically.
Or like what's written in it.
Yes, what would be, like, your preferred way? Like, what would be your preferred 911 call?
I like them as if they're actually being spoken. Like, oh my god, I think someone just broken my window. Smash. Oh shit, they're right in my house. Help me, please. Like, they're actually being spoken. The ones that are just, like...
So, to you, if I would send /911, and I would just write PO 9 something, whatever, black car, gun, like, assault rifle, driving away, westbound, you wouldn't like that?
I just find it late, like, boring. I'd go to it. I probably would go to it. Don't get me wrong. I would go there and go, what am I responding to? A black car and there's a man with a gun. Oh, wow. I like the ones that are spoken because there's detail there.
So it's not, I guess, it's not something you could get invested into because of no story into it or something?
Yeah, I do like to get invested into it. I'll give you that, yeah. That's fair. I like to get invested into them.
Okay. Well, let's continue. Blue Vest. Kevin.
I imagine he's still looking at the files.
I guess so. Alright, Blue, your turn.
Won't find it. Shit's dumb.
Lol.
Sorry, what was the question?
No, we'll go around
Oh,
this
go
middle.
for this, good.
So if we're on about structure of the 911 calls, I like it where it's not like, but like Sam said, I like it where it's almost like not a story, but it is like someone speaking to you. Obviously, I appreciate it's hard via text, and some people just do /911 man with a gun. That gives us nothing. So a lot of time, like, I personally do it, and I take pride in it. Hold on, let me just reset AFK. And like if you had access to the logs and you controlled F my name, you'd see that a lot of mine are just, hey there, I'm blah blah blah. But I also like it if it's specified who, like if a third party is calling from it. A lot of the time I'll do in brackets like local, so like a local CNET. And if I don't want to beep in Kevin. And like one thing I hate, some people, they mainly do it on Twitter, but I've seen 911 calls where people do VPN. Like, you can call a fucking 911 with a VPN, it's not really shit.
Yeah, because you can't really
and I also hate
do
when
an
people
VPN
do,
over a phone that
yeah,
way.
Exactly, yeah. I also hate when people do, like, if a police car gets stolen, they do /911 car ping. Like, just do like a meal.
Oh, is that common?
Yeah, often. A lot of time when people steal a car, because it gives us a blip on the map, they just do /911 ping. It's just...
Is that commonly accepted that if they do that, it's a stolen car? They don't do 911, oh, somebody stole my car, and this is the location, ping.
We don't really get those calls. It's usually when they steal a police car in a scene, they'll ping the police car.
Is that not a rule on the server that you can't steal police cars, or...?
It is,
members
but not for
can.
members.
So
you can steal a police car, for example.
if you're a member, you can steal a police car.
Yes.
Does it happen often?
The
Yes.
chance that you get shot in the face is very high.
Yes.
So
There's a case law that allows for police to shoot you as soon as you steal it.
Weapons can be adapted into vehicles can be adapted into weapons. So we
Yes.
usually decide if a vehicle's driving us, we will take lethal. And we will
do
take
you
can also be
guys
adapted to
think
weapons
that
when
it,
they have weapons in
Weapons
them.
inside the vehicle.
do you guys think it's a common reason for why some cops or most cops disregard certain traffic rule breakers because they expect them to shoot them in the face when they pull them over?
Yep.
It does happen a lot, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one. What annoys me is if I'm giving you a written warning for your window tint, and you're pulling chase at 90 miles an hour to shoot me in the face. I mean, I've encouraged supervisors to obviously terminate pursuit if the charge is not sufficient enough to
Pretty
warrant
much
a
like
chase.
misdemeanor
It's
up, misdemeanor
dangerous.
felony chase, infraction leave it.
Yeah,
Like-
that's something I have to say that I've noticed, because if I've been playing on my character that I know has like a felony warrant, I'm not gonna like stick around in the traffic stop. I'm gonna take off, but the cop will usually terminate the chase within 2 minutes.
That's their fault because they didn't realise you were warranted or bolo. They didn't check.
Well, I don't know what they checked or not. I just know that I probably have a warrant and I'm gonna take the fuck off because I don't want.
Yeah, I mean-
It also depends on the threat and risk of the pursuit. Like if you're going wrong way down an interstate, or depending on
Well-
weather and stuff, and the amount of units, and if there's other jobs going on, it's just something that they'll have to weigh up.
Since you guys usually play as law enforcement or staff, do you think there's a disconnect between civilians that way? That because in my perspective, civilians usually tend to think, oh, we keep a good eye on our CAD record to make sure that we have everything clean. So if we get pulled over, we can just deal with it. And if we have a warrant, we are definitely gonna run because, hey, I don't want to lose my fucking registered car. And within 2 minutes, usually the cop will terminate the chase to go to a bank robbery.
The thing is with registered cars, if the car is registered in their own name and we lock the plate in our system, it'll give us a little notification that says the registered owner of this vehicle has a bolo or has a warrant. So
That
we
is a
know
thing.
that- Yeah, so we know when the registered owner is warranted boloed or if the vehicle is boloed.
Have you noticed, or do you know if cops? Because I'm guessing that cops have to put in that manually that, oh, this person ran from me, I'm gonna have to bolo that license plate or something like that.
Yeah, they have to make a bolo on the plate, on the CAD, the plate and everything.
Because I can tell you for a fact that I ran from the cops many times and then hidden that car or vehicle that I ran from for a couple of days or a couple of minutes and then come back out and driven it around with no issues without having it boloed. So
I think
in my
the issue
experience, most cops seems to not give a shit about boloing vehicles.
The main issue with it is that 90% of the time when you're chasing someone, you cannot read their license plate, and a lot of people forget to enable their radar and/or plate reader, so they can't lock the plate.
Well, I've also been
So-
pulled over very often for having a plate that isn't registered in the system, so I know you guys have some form of system that is
Yeah, we
the
have,
cop, the radar is connected to the CAD in some fucking way.
It definitely is. If you
Because I've
scan
been
a
pulled
plate,
over for
it'll-
that.
Yeah, if you scan a plate, it'll either say this vehicle is not registered, or it'll give information on the registration and the owner and stuff.
But I'm guessing that
A lot
that
of-
system doesn't tell you if the car is boloed or the driver
it does,
registered
it
is
does.
boloed.
Yeah, it does. But a lot of officers are a bit dumb in the head and they forget to enable their plate reader, and then they don't get the little notifications.
Yeah, because definitely say that me and Monster have realized, like, on most servers, not just on this one, but it seems to be a trend on most servers that if you've been in a chase and you've gotten away, and then you drive around like a couple of hours later in the same car, it's like the cops have short-term memory loss, and that car is new. Like the description or the brand isn't fucking registered in some form of system. Like, that's the same fucking car that we were chasing 2 hours back. Let's pull it over immediately and code 5 it.
Cops are also very lazy when it comes to that, I must say.
I know that if I see a car that I've chased before and I didn't get the plate, I'll try and lock the plate and get a bolo out then, because if I didn't get the plate in the first chase, I'll try and get the plate before I get a pursuit again, because if I just lose them again in another pursuit without the plate, we're making zero progress. But I'm a serial plate locker. I lock plates as soon as if I see someone I'm going to pull over for whatever charge, I'll lock the plate immediately, and it will tell you the make and model of the vehicle, the VIN number, the registration status, and who it's registered to. What it won't tell you though is whether that registered owner has a warrant out. You actually have to search up that name, and then the CAD will shout warrant. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. I literally fucking saw it today. I lost the plate, and then it says the registered owner of this vehicle has a warrant.
Oh, maybe. Right.
Just out of curiosity, and if this is like against some fucking rules about sharing information, I can cut it out of the interview. But is there some form of like, you have stopped an individual, you've gotten their information, and during that traffic stop you might have found something on them, they took off, but you still have their information. Will you like issue a warrant on that like person if they're in the CAD?
Yeah, definitely put a warrant out for them.
Like that is a part of your procedure as officers?
Yeah. We have like about 20 to 30 warrants currently active. I closed 3 of them today. One individual called John J. Millipooz with 3 active warrants out for him, and he was arrested today.
So what would you think if I told you that the character that I am dressed as right now, that I've been playing as for like a bunch of hours now, should have 3 active like warrants on him, but
what's his name?
Jimmy McGee, look him up. He has a decent record.
I thought you were about to say Juan Santiago Monchanio Sanchez.
No, that's Callum.
But I should have a bunch of warrants because of cars that I've driven and that I've taken off with.
Jimmy McGee isn't even a person.
Yes, he is.
Someone else
Definitely spelling it wrong.
See it. Wait, how do you spell it, Jimmy?
Jimmie.
Aha, that's what.
I even have a picture.
You have no active warrants.
And I should have 3.
Like I said, it'll ultimately be down to that individual officer. We can't monitor every job an officer goes to. If they don't bowler you or warrant you, we
that is fair.
That's kind of annoying.
But considering, because that is something I noticed since I used to be a fucking highway patrol. But I can understand people being like, I don't know, lazy or whatever, just not feeling like not worth it, or just forgetting. But after like you've had a 1080 with like 5 cops behind you, and you're driving a very distinct car, and then you get away, and 2 hours later you're driving around Sandy Shores with the same car and nobody's batting an eye, it's kind of like, okay, do the cops just have short-term memory loss or something?
Some of them wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But no, it's definitely a good point, and like Sam said, he'll start enforcing it a bit more. We can start mentioning it in briefings.
So,
usually happen daily.
with that in mind, do you think it's worth maybe putting the time to remind the officers that, hey, if something's like, if you need, document everything, like something like that? Or
that car there?
That's what I'm on about. Case files.
yes,
I've got a case file open.
Black
Please
Audi.
don't
Enough of
murder
work.
victims.
Please don't make me do any more.
Do you see that car?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I fled from police in Sandy in that, and I escaped the first time, and I'm thinking, result. They're not gonna pick me up again, are they? Look at the car. It's fuck me. It's inconspicuous as it gets. It's a black car. It's a black four-door car, right?
It's a black Audi hatchback.
Yeah, but like 3 hours later, I was driving in the dark, and I had my lights on, and I wasn't even breaking laws. A cop pulls up behind me, follows me for a bit, and it felt pretty good, because it felt realistic, if you will, and it surprised me. Like, so I understand why...
But if you were in a traffic stop and then you took off from it, and 2 hours later, there should be a bolo on that car, right?
I think there was a bolo, that's why I got pulled over. So that was a case of them actually setting bolos, but I can see why it...
Oh, sorry.
I think, wait, hold on, is he here? I'm just getting this guy over. Alexa.
You can probably
Okay.
go inside the building if you want.
But, alright, this recording has been going on for a while now, so let me just ask, to end this off, because at this point this feels like more of a podcast, and I'd be down to do this again, if y'all are down for it.
Sure, I don't mind sitting here.
Because if you guys have issues you want to bring up, like, live officially, so everybody can hear it, I'd be fucking down.
You get like opinions off of the civilians, obviously like the Monsterbull and stuff, whether or not he joins in. And
Oh yeah, I can
if
ask.
you want to get sort of opinions off of the people in the survey, it just gives us an insight then.
Yeah, I can go around, ask questions, and see, take notes of what they are thinking, and bring the questions to y'all, and like make a thing out of it. If y'all guys are down,
I'm down.
Yeah.
might bring some traffic to my YouTube channel. Hell yeah.
It's got a clickbait title. DOSARP. Is it
Oh,
good or is it shit?
Speaking of that, are any of y'all guys aware of the podcast, like a thing that me and Monster?
Backstories?
It sounds like you're familiar with it.
I have watched it, yes.
What thing?
What's your opinion of it?
It was good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it was well good. Sam, it was the thing they put in our media. It was like the two characters,
Yes.
their backstories and all that.
Oh, yeah. Did
If
see
you
that.
have any constructive criticism, I would love to hear it, so we can improve.
I don't
I
have
think it was
I
really
can
good.
give it a minute.
Anyways, last question. If you have any question or anything that you feel like you can't, like, is there any issues that you feel like haven't been brought up enough that you guys encounter a lot? Like, yeah, some issue or something, whatever it could be, trivial or not. Tell me, and everybody will know.
Oh,
One at a time, please, so you guys don't talk over each other.
horrible driving. From civilians, I'm saying. Like, police don't drive very well, but civilians will absolutely slam their car at 140 miles an hour into a brick wall, yet continue. I actually don't even know how they do it. We have a realistic vehicle damaging. They must
They
have...
put 100% armor on and it makes
yeah,
their vehicle
100%.
indestructible.
Sounds like
That's in the V menu.
if they do that, they
Yeah.
like repair it with F1 menu afterwards. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to drive.
Wait,
So
okay,
that sounds like a rule breaking issue.
It does. Kevin,
We deal with it when they repair the vehicle, but if
Is that a
they-
common thing?
If they do, obviously you can do slash
That's
repair,
not
which
that
temporarily
common.
fixes your car, but it will eventually break again. But a lot of people put 100% armor on, which it's a thing we can disable, and we might. Obviously, we've also got the issue of if they do F1 repair, or if we do remove the F1 repair, obviously people can't then go to a mechanic and quote unquote fix it, unless
Yes,
we
you
have
can.
like a script where you can
No,
go there.
if you go to a mechanic with our current repair script / repair, it repairs the whole thing.
What is the
You gotta think about
most
decent crashes,
like
so.
troublesome thing that you usually encounter, all of you?
Sibs.
Well, that's a bit too.
Uno. Hello, Uno, if you're still watching. No, to be honest, it's just like the low quality of roleplay.
Yeah, still watching.
It's the
Okay, that's interesting you bring that up. Low quality roleplay. What would you consider low quality
So-
roleplay?
like we've mostly gone through today, the constant, like, let's say you're getting pulled over for your window tint, your 1080, you kill 3 cops and stuff like that, your constant bank robberies, the people doing the same shit over and over and over again. Like, the non-thought out stuff. Because if you think about it in real life, you're not going to wake up one day, you know, drive past the bank and think, oh, let's go rob that. You're going to be planning out for, you know, days and weeks doing planning and stuff. So it's just, like, obviously as a public server, it's something that we're not going to be able to fully perfect. But
Yeah.
some people who come back day after day don't seem to improve their roleplay. And there's people that have had warnings and bans and kicks, and yet they still fail. Like, we have one, he's not a great Civ RPer, but he's now a police officer, and he's incredible. But I think it's people struggle to come up with ideas, because let's say if they watch 5M on YouTube, a lot of it is shit roleplay. And I think that's where we struggle with. Random people will come in, they're either going to troll, or they're going to do bank robberies, kill cops, steal cop cars, do pursuits and stuff like that. It's not something we're going to be able to fix, but we would like the breakup of that and go to low-level assaults, low-level little drug crimes, little foot pursuits,
Or
domestic violence calls.
Yeah,
stuff like
domestic
that.
assaults or
Yeah, that's my favourite type of call. I like running a little bit. I like having a bit long-winded stuff and just petty crime. I do like petty
I'll do
crime.
like a 10, 7, 8.
or like a home invasion or
Yeah, a proper
Home
12
invasion
home
is my
invasion
specialty.
are the best. Yeah, in real life as well, they're great.
He's a cop, by
not-
the way.
like 2 jackasses carrying a TV out of
Yeah, see, that'd be
an
brilliant.
apartment. That is mine and Monsterbull's specialty, to cause
There you go.
those.
That's something we'd love, but unfortunately, and I can speak for this, because it'll happen.
Those
When
get
officers
overshadowed by the
drive
bank
past you,
robberies.
Yes, you will have officers that drive past you.
Yeah, doing that. If we do that outside, like carrying something like that out of a random fucking building, we get, and we do a 911 to that, we usually get overshadowed by gunshots that are fucking 24/7 or something.
Yeah.
Alright, you, Mr. No Hair.
That's a bit rude.
Thoughts about what are your thoughts? Oh, we lost one. Well, same question to you.
Back in school again when my teacher asked me what the thoughts are and I weren't listening.
What was my question? Oh yeah,
Good question.
general issues you run into, something that you would like to be addressed that doesn't
Well, as a
feel like it get
police
addressed
officer-
enough.
In what department? In Civ, police,
Just
staff?
in general, anything.
The fact that most people on the server don't know how to do a roleplay scene without guns.
Okay,
Trust me, our home invasions are gun free.
what would you consider a bad roleplay scene with a gun?
The lack of fear when it comes to the suspect.
I'm not asking you, am I?
I'm just adding that to my input. Clearly
Yay!
eating
I'm
something.
asking him though.
I'm eating mini cheddars.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, a lack of fear. When you have an entire SWAT team that you know is outside and you've seen that is outside, and you're just not scared and you're willing to take on an entire SWAT team sat behind the counter of a jewelry store by yourself, instead of just surrendering straight up because you know you'll die. So it seems like that I don't like. I think it would be so cool if we got a SWAT team and the pure fear factor of SWAT made them surrender.
Okay,
I think
so
that'd be a cool scene.
in contrast to that, what would you consider a good roleplay scenario involving a civilian with a
Yeah,
weapon?
Sam has a point, sorry. This is what the start of a shit RP scene looks like with guns, where they have they are a walking arsenal. You see? And then they start running away from you with all these guns on them.
So what if I give you the example that me and the Monsterbull was trying to do earlier, but we didn't get any attention, which I kind of appreciate in one way. But we were when AOP was Blaine County, we literally walked through Sandy Shores from the Ace Liquor to the 24/7 with assault rifles strapped on our chest.
Yeah, we had reports about that.
Yeah, we were just exercising our Second Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
And we never got stopped.
I don't think. Did anyone call that out? I was busy.
We were expecting to get
Were you
stopped.
near a highway?
We were walking alongside Joshua Road.
Yeah, someone called out 2 armed individuals to the highway, and then, oh shit, where did we go? We had the Smoke Tree Road scene where Scott jumped down my car and I reversed over him.
That wasn't us.
Yeah, but that was happening at the same time.
Yeah, we were just walking
yeah,
next to Joshua Road with M4s on our chests.
Yeah, I heard that called out, and then after I'd cleared up whatever.
So
I was doing,
you did get a 911 about that, or did you get an officer?
No. An officer
calling?
reported it. An officer called it over the radio.
Okay.
He must have spotted it, called it out on his way to something. I was on a scene, and then after the scene, I asked for a status update. I said, did someone call out a couple armed individuals near a highway, or East Joshua or whatever? And I think by that point we had just finished up one panic button response, and we're on to the next, because we had a very... You see what I mean? Like, the
Is
really
there-
bad stuff clogs up our shit.
Is there something that you guys would like to see more often, like compared to like a robbery at a 24/7 or a fucking shootout at Grove Street? Like, is there something that you would rather do, like
Yes.
in comparison to that? And
Everything.
if so, can you give an example of something you would rather do? Like something you would rather respond to?
A local civilian who has just seen 2 fellas loading drugs into the back of a truck, or loading suspicious packages into the back of a truck.
I'm saying this because I often hear like complaints from both civilian side and police side that the civilian complains that, oh, we're trying to do an intricate scene but nobody's responding, and the police says, oh, do 911 calls, but we're not getting any good 911 calls. Is there something like specifically that you guys would rather respond to, opposed to like somebody is waving a gun around in 24/7?
Personally, I hate people waving guns around anywhere. I think it's happens way too much and it's pointless. Do you want to speak to these 2? They seem very keen.
Fucking talk if you want to talk.
Keep talking over each other time. I obviously like, just to backtrack a little bit, I like little petty stuff, like I mentioned earlier, with the assaults, the domestics, the small drug things that lead to little foot pursuits and stuff. Nothing that needs to be armed and violent, really. Obviously, you can question the drug stuff with whether they have a knife or whether they got a pistol and stuff like that, instead of a walk-in, A2 Abrams. But I also like CPR jobs and stuff where people go into cardiac arrest. Small stuff that can lead to, obviously, SAFR and stuff, dealing with that. What was the other bit we were going to say? The newest bit? Oh, my bad, blank.
I don't know. I have a whole ass thing that I'm probably gonna do as a sip when there's enough cops on.
Yeah, I hate people whipping out guns as well. If that was the thing. I can't remember what I was going to say.
I honestly fancy. So in the CAD, there's this missing. You can mark people as missing persons, right? So, say you and a friend want to do a scene for police. You can have one of them call in as a family member of one of them saying, this person's missing. You mark them as a missing person. You go on the CAD, you find their last known address. You go to the address. There's some grisly scenes. What do? You investigate. Then you go to another address you get from the info. I don't know. I feel like you could just barrel it on to be a bigger
Not like
and
I
bigger
did the other day.
And then even then, it could even end up with guns if you want. It could be
So
some
you-
crazy man.
You would like more intricate, detailed scenes
Yes.
that where one thing leads to another and it's an investigation.
Yes, specifically missing persons though, because we don't ever get that. Like, I feel like it's such a common
Okay.
thing in the real
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
never happens here.
Is there a specific type of scene that you guys... Okay, I feel like I know the answer to this one, but I have to ask. Is there a specific scene that you guys in general are just... feel like you're fucking done with? We don't want this any time at all.
Any 911 call that isn't over 2 lines.
Like, more specific than
in a
that.
Street shooting and really shitty, like, or spontaneous bank robberies and shit, where they just run in with guns
Do you
and
know?
then they don't negotiate and just shoot you.
Do you know what I hate? I mentioned it earlier, right? You have, say, Billy Morgan, who's decided that he's now going to be hiding behind the tellers at the bank. You have an entire professionally trained, standard operating trained, like entry-level, fucking practical militant SWAT team running in with heavy weapons, and this person has a pistol, and they decide that it's going to be a good idea to start shooting at this SWAT team. That's the sort of shit I hate. People who are just idiots and don't
Do you think that it's more annoying than some jackass in a fucking
I think
primo
technical things
rolling
are more
up
annoying when
and...
people just don't look at the little details.
Okay.
Yeah, also that too, when people run away from the police and make a 911 call from a local saying someone's running past me, as if that's not normal.
Yeah,
Oh.
'cause whenever I'm as a civilian, and
Another
somebody-
good question. What is your favorite AOP?
Los Santos, anywhere in Los Santos. I don't like the county. The only thing I like about the county is there's no traffic lights.
I like the East Los, so the stuff over the river on our, like down there, like the industrial estates with the little alleyways and stuff. I think it's quite cool. It's cool.
In contrast to that, since y'all roleplay, don't ignore that. Since y'all roleplay most of the time as police officers, what is your favorite area to patrol? Or where did you
Santos.
patrol most often?
Mainly Blaine County, mainly Sunny Shores and surroundings. But I prefer Los Santos. People don't
I
like it 'cause
prefer
there's
Los
traffic lights.
Santos.
Can you be more specific?
The whole area, but mainly like southeast.
Do you guys know anybody in the department that likes to patrol highways or freeways?
Yeah. They just
Do we?
don't. Somebody,
Element
John
likes
Nye.
highways.
loves
Yeah,
it.
Nye likes
one of them
highways.
named Element, and he doesn't get on.
That is something I would like to bring up, because I feel like if there is a department for it, I don't actually know in this server. I know on other servers they have like specific highway patrol and stuff, but I don't know about this server.
Just to add to that, initially we used to set patrol zones in briefings. We sort of scrapped that for the last few months, but I'll speak
I
to the
personally
traffic
feel
enforcement
like,
commander, because
well,
they
if you
should
wanna
be
catch me and Monster
prioritizing the
doing-
highways.
If you want to catch me and Monster doing breaking traffic laws, you should patrol the freeways. Just saying.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, obviously it's hard when we're realistically a sheriff department and a city department. But I will speak to the traffic enforcement because they are the ones with the faster vehicles, the supposedly better drivers, but somehow the worst of the
You need
department.
a highway
Used to be
patrol.
SAHP.
They should be the ones who are on the freeways, interstates, and stuff like
Do
that.
you need a
Because-
highway patrol?
Say again.
Do you need a highway patrol?
We don't need one.
This is Hendo's old
The
outfit.
original plan was as soon as law enforcement gets active enough with enough members, we would end up splitting back off to law enforcement, Blaine County Sheriff's Office, and either a state police or a highway patrol. That has
How
yet
nice is
to
it?
happen.
60 members is my target. We're two-thirds there.
Hey, PureToxic, why don't you make it whatever the fuck it is now? Add 1.
Do I not make it what?
38 plus 1, 39.
Why don't, basically, what I'm saying is, do you want to join the police?
We
I've
still
done
ignore and stuff, but
too much police.
to be honest,
fair.
we need to civ, so stay a civ.
Yeah.
I'm still getting
Oh,
back
that's
to
just-
civilian in real life. So I'd rather not
You're implying
join.
that you've just been released from prison.
No, I'm implying that it wasn't that long ago since I got out of the military.
Oh, wow, okay, well, fair enough.
I'd rather get back to being a civilian.
I can imagine.
Do you have a gun? I have it.
Well,
Colin
no.
Wilt question.
Colin Will's got a gun, he's American.
Why am I black now? Not that that's a bad thing. Not that that's a bad thing. It just happened.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, completely unrelated. Why is it either that anybody I meet on this server is either fucking British or Swedish?
I don't know, it's just how it's worked out. I have no idea.
Because y'all are all British.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
No,
Oh, well then,
I've already said I'm
he-
Chinese.
he's
Ni hao,
Netherlands.
Bing chillin.
he's
I'm from,
British.
Thailand.
He's British. I'm British. Netherlands.
Them
Thai.
from
You're
Thailand.
Swedish.
And I'm Swedish.
Oh yeah, the lady boy from Thailand.
And besides you guys, everybody else that I meet is Swedish or Bulgarian.
I think we have now 3 Americans in the police: Colin, Element, and Pancake. I think he's American.
Order as well.
We nearly had
Jose
Harvest
Garcia.
Actually, no,
He's
Order.
from Texas.
I
Yeah,
hate that guy.
he's from Texas.
I really
Okay.
liked him, but
So,
he's
for the record, what do you guys think about Uno?
Prick.
I'm glad
No,
he's
you're
listening.
listening.
Where to
Right.
start?
For the record.
Prick. Prick.
Stupid mopey cunt.
Prick. Should be banned. If he wasn't staff, he would be banned and dismissed as
No
one of the
comment.
shitty players that no
I'm
one
gonna
likes.
keep myself to no comment.
I'm
So
gonna
if
keep
you
myself
think
to
that,
all the
have you
comments.
reported him to the
Yes,
staff
I
about
hate
it?
him.
Report it
Today.
right now. Hendo is handsome.
Alright.
Sorry,
You listening to that?
Oh yeah.
He actually is.
Uno's listening. He's been spectating our whole conversation.
he said, "What the fuck?"
He is?
I look like Woody.
So's the other owner, but he's not made any inputs. I'll speak
Well,
on his behalf there. Me and him are like almost.
I would like them to come down here and speak officially.
Yeah.
That would
sweet.
be amazing if they could.
Come down here, pussies.
There we go. That's one. And that's two. Or is it the same one?
No, there's two different.
Two separate
No
ones.
clips.
Oh, hello, Uno.
Green came and just left.
Uno.
So
that.
Green's playing COD and 5M. What PC does this man have? That's where his graphics card breaks.
This guy crashes every half a second. He told me we can do that.
And he's gone.
He no clipped to green as well. Or teleported by green.
Yeah, they're shy.
How dashing does Hendo look in this outfit?
Green, reply. Wait, so how Green? How come you crash so much, but you can run COD and 5M? That's crazy. That's insane.
Can somebody tell me I look dashing in this outfit?
You look
You're
dashing in
trying.
that outfit.
Thank you. I've been saying it for a while now,
I'll
hoping
join.
someone would agree with me.
Are they just actively avoiding difficult questions, or
That's not very nice.
What? Sorry, what was the question?
I don't
are
want to tell you
the
anymore.
upper people actively avoiding difficult questions or something?
Yeah, they're twats. Green is upper as it gets. Uno is not upper. He's like middle.
But people still complain about him.
Because he's annoying.
But he's still around. What's
He's
up
around
about that?
Because he sucks off Green.
Look at me, I'm a fucking...
Is
Fuck
that
you,
an
cunt.
internal issue you feel like should be addressed?
Yeah, we should ban him.
I am having a hard time telling if you're sarcastic or not.
I'm actually half sarcastic. He's alright.
No, he's
but I
not.
still think he's a
He's
prick.
alright 63% of the time.
49.
So he's a cunt, but he's a good cunt.
No, he's not even a good
no,
cunt.
he's
He's
a
just a
cunt.
cunt.
Oh,
What the?
that's fair. I agree with the input.
All I could comment is
Oh, right, I get it now. Their reasonings outside of 5M.
Yeah. Massive L's.
To be honest, the one reason within 5M is that he's not active.
I mean, the only time I ever speak to Uno is in 5M.
It looks like besides me, there aren't anybody else who's on who's a Civ, so I can't really make a Civ
I'm
interview.
gonna make a Civ scene, so.
I would do it with you, but I've got to be up at 7. Actually, no, I might just not sleep.
You've got to be up at 7.
Yeah, because I'm going
Dog,
to
it's
my
4 a.m.
woman's house. I'm not
You
college.
can just sleep at hers. That's easy.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's literally, you make that sound like it's difficult. I went to work the other day with no sleep, and that was a 10-hour shift.
What looks nicer? No jacket
And I
or
then
jacket?
stayed up. I was awake for 32 hours.
No jacket or jacket?
Jacket. And
Well,
then when
I
you get off it,
appreciate the talk. Thank you guys for answering my questions.
Of course, mate.
If there's anything else you would like to tell me before I head off and fucking go to bed, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and a good night's sleep, mate. That's what I'd like to tell you.
Uno's account. Oh, that's what I like to say. Uno's account. And Green plays Roblox. The director of the server plays Roblox with Uno. And they touch each other on it. He's known in Roblox. He thinks he's a famous celebrity in Roblox. It's really embarrassing.
Okay.
They're
It's
Robloxian
embarrassing.
icons.
Can you hear that? Can you see that? No,
In Uno's Discord bio, he has a Vivian Westwood logo.
And also some women in thongs.
Yes, he's got a very 13-year-old boy trying to choose his sexuality.
Or prove that he's one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really known in the game they play on Roblox. The one of the millions
Are you
of games,
impressed?
thousands of games.
They're the Demon Stars crew. You got to watch out.
Are you
Yeah.
impressed?
You should be scared of
If
them.
you're not, you should be impressed.
Have a good one, guys. I'll
Yeah,
talk to
very well.
Can you
you
tell us whether you're impressed or not?
very much so.
You've just made Inoxstar's day. Personally, I agree.
I'll see you around on the server.
Take
See you
care,
around,
mate. It was
mate.
lovely speaking to you.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, it was for like 3 hours or however long it lasted, but I'm glad.